Hi, good morning, everybody. Meech the Money Honey here. It is Tuesday, 17th of December, and we are looking at a Bitcoin chart. Um, Trying to figure out, of course, we never know what the market's going to do. If we're looking at another bull flag, which this is what it looks like on the 15-minute chart intraday. Whether we're going to break out of this thing and go higher or we're going to go lower. Now, I'm looking at the 15-minute chart and we've had a signal that's changed our profit targets lower. So this prompted me to take some profits because if you look at the daily chart, yes, we're showing higher profit targets here, but this could easily change with a pullback signal like this. And we've got this strong bullish signal, right? But we are at a resistance level and we're at the top of this linear regression. So that tells me it's about time to start taking some profits because, if we go back and we look, you know, typically what you see when we're in an uptrend, which we are in an uptrend, you get down here to the bottom of this channel, you ride it to the top, take some profits, then you come back down, right? So I would be expecting for this thing to have some sort of a pullback, um, you know, probably around, if you get to this level here, probably somewhere between 87 and 90,000. Maybe a little higher than that. Maybe it stops around 91-ish. But just keep that on your radar, because we're still showing the higher levels, higher time frames, higher profit targets. But I would not be surprised if we are, pulling back a little bit and taking some profit here. So right now, I'm looking at another bull flag, but typically, you know, things start changing from the lower levels to the higher levels. So on this 15-minute chart, now we could be bouncing around and ranging. Understood. We do have economic news coming out at 8:30, retail sales. Tomorrow we have, we've got a Fed interest rate decision. So we're in for some rocky times. It really could go well for Bitcoin if the interest rate is lowered, like predictions are, they're saying that we're gonna see another small haircut on the interest rate decision. I believe the estimates are they're going to trim a quarter basis point. But you really don't know how these things are going to react. Typically, when we're seeing interest rates being cut, growth stocks, Bitcoin, they all go higher. But, we're at the end of the year also, right? Holiday seasons, we could be seeing people decide that they want to book profit and we have that end of the year sell off. So we could be in for one more big pump and then people are booking profits for the year. Either way, just be mindful that we are looking like we are, maybe a bit overbought. That doesn't mean that I am not bullish on Bitcoin. It absolutely does mean that, you need to be thinking about whether you're going to take profits or you're going to ride this thing down and keep moving forward. Either way, I'm looking to stay long Bitcoin. I just like to take some off the table and then watch till I get into a certain range and then buy back in. So for me personally, I did book some profits and then I'm going to wait till we hit, a little bit lower price target and then I'll be back in, put my chips back in. Now let's take a look at the futures. On the intraday, we are up on the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. So that's good. I hope we stay up with this news. Typically, when we're going into these big news events, you may see an initial sell-off, but then we'll come back and continue in the direction in which we started. So even on the intraday 15-minute chart, we're showing a higher profit target. We did have a significant gap up um, last night. So who knows? Are we gonna go back and fill this gap downward and then continue higher? I don't know. I don't like to be in the markets when we have major economic news coming out. So we've done the same on the NASDAQ, and then the Dow looks the exact same. I mean, you could be looking at the identical chart. So anyway, just be mindful of your position right before this 8:30 news hits. All right, let's take a look at some of our major stocks. Now, NVIDIA has been kind of breaking down a little bit. We're down pre-market. Let's see where we think this thing's going to stop. All right, I want to look at the longer time frame and take off some of these drawings here so we can get a better picture of it. Now, we have fallen out of our uptrend. Let's see where this thing's going to stop. And it looks like we could be stopping at 127. That's what the second profit target is. Now, we are below this 200-day moving average. So before I took another long position, my swing trading strategy is I wait till I get above a 200-day moving average and above a VWAP before I go long again. So right now we're just going to wait for this thing to bottom out and then move up a little bit before we decide to go back in and take a long position, because you can see we've got a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. So I want to know whether this thing's going to stop or if we're going to move further down before I get back in. All right. Tesla, let's take a look at that. I haven't looked at that in a couple of days. We're up $10 pre-market. That's looking pretty good. Hold on. My chart view is kind of wonky. Sorry about that. But again, we've got maybe a little bit more to run. Let's see, 490 is showing the second profit target. I think we can get there, but you probably are going to see a little bit of a pullback. It looks like we're starting here with that candle. All right, let's look on the smaller time frame and see if we got any type of signal here. So I don't know. We're starting to move below this VWAP a little bit. That's on the hourly. Let's see where we're going on the 15. Okay, so this gives us a little bit better view. Looks like we may be falling back down to 465 today. So I don't know. I think people are booking profits before this economic news comes out. All right, let's look at the SPY here. I don't know. We had a long wick off of this on the 15-minute. I don't know. I suspect we may come back down. Hopefully, we'll hold this 200 period moving average, but we are below the VWAP. Am I seeing a signal on this thing? Not yet. I'm not seeing a signal. All right, on the 5-minute we are. So it looks like we're going to bottom out 60.72. So we may be moving back higher again here. So 60.67 is where we've wicked off of. All right, I want to, let's see, let's look at Amazon. Up, we're down a little bit pre-market. I like to look at the long term on these because I swing trade these charts. Again, looking close to overbought territory. So personally, I would be taking profits here. Apple, I imagine this thing's going to probably start falling out of the sky. And we just shot out of this downward trend. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if people are starting to book profits on these too, because we're kind of high up here. And usually when we get pretty high, then we start to fall back down. AMD, we're still in that downward trend. So you gotta wait till we bottom out and we start moving up above that 200-day before I would be considering getting in. Um, let's look at Block. This is one of our miners. We're kind of at the bottom of this. So I mean, up a little pre-market. We have hit the bottom of this range and starting to move back up. It shows our second take profit at 56. But I could see it going even higher to 59. So we're above that VWAP. We're above the 200-day. Um, the only thing is we are in the middle of this support and resistance. So I typically like to enter right around a support zone. So the ideal entry would have been around 53.25 for me, but it's still not in a bad spot. We've gapped up pretty high here. So, and you can see we've got this resistance level, this line right here. This is, we've got some good orders here that could be pushing it back down. And we have hit this one take profit, but we are above it. So, it could be that we're going to come back and retest this level before zorching up a little bit higher. So, I would watch that on a smaller time frame. And it kind of looks like that may be happening right now. We're below the VWAP. Oh, no, we've got this bullish signal because we've come up here. Um, so you could be seeing a little bit of range action before we break out. Kind of looks like what that's doing there. So anyway, we have had a breakout above this range. Wait for a retest and hold before you go long. That would be what I would do. Coinbase. This thing's been moving pretty significantly lately. And we are out of this range. But above the 200-day, we just low volume here. So I would want some volume to come in before I took a long, but we are kind of squeezing our price here. So look at this. And I had this double bull flag thing going on, right? Is this actually maybe just a continuation a little bit, sort of, right? Um, so anyway, wait for a signal and a break and retest of this level, 316, because we've just been kind of, bebopping along here. No significant movement. Volume's been pretty choppy, but still in an upwards trend. So we've got significant resistance. That's what's been keeping us down right here. If we can break through this resistance of, wow, that's pretty high up there, 344. Wow, then you actually, if we got through this and we're back in this upward channel and then we are, I mean, top of this channel, wow, 483, 450 would be the next stop there. So we've got to see some movement though. We've got to see some movement before we get back in that channel. All right, let's look at Google, see how this thing's doing because we have been off to the races with Google. We are back in a solid looking uptrend, but we are at the top. So again, you see this X, this is sort of, take your profits, expect a pullback, and then continuing higher. All right, I want to look at, what do I want to look at? I want to look at something that's not crypto related. TJ Maxx, we had a little bit of a dip yesterday. Well, we're down just a little bit pre-market, but we are showing a sell signal. Looks like our second take profit is going to be around 119. Unless we go below this 200-day moving average and we start moving considerable amount below it, I would still consider this in an uptrend. So I wouldn't be out of this stock until next year for sure. So we're having a little bit of a pullback, and then I would take a long. I'd buy that dip. All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. Um, Watch for that economic news. If you're going to be in, make sure that you have a stop loss. I don't typically like to be in when we have major economic news. And then also for tomorrow, make sure that you're watching the market carefully when this Fed interest rate decision comes out, because it could be a wild ride. So, anyway, happy trading. And if you think that what I'm delivering is something worth watching, please consider subscribing. It helps me out because I'm pretty new. And any comments or feedback you have, certainly I'll take it. So, thanks so much. Happy trading and have a great day.